Whew. Back and forth, but here we go. This is mid ELO tourneys 2v2 gold final, exclamation mark MET for that. Yeah, some information about Discord and the tournaments. Frequent tournaments hosted through that Discord, and as the name states, mid ELO, ranging from 1000 1v1 ELO to maximum 1800, at least for this team game event, and of course across different brackets. We had 4 different brackets: platinum, gold, silver, and bronze, which tends to be the division throughout the brackets. So they are drafting. Let me see if I can find the draft as well to link. Actually, they've been picking maps and drafting sibs. So while they are getting started here, I'm gonna see if I can update that and find that somewhere. Gonna look at the gold division information here. Doesn't really look like they posted anything else than the recorded games, so we'll have to leave it at that. I don't know their names and their maps and civilization draft, unfortunately. Anyway, let's introduce the civilizations here. Arabia is always the first map, so that shouldn't be any surprises there. You'll note that for convenience, they're playing at the current patch, I believe. So it's the current definitive edition Arabia with woodlands, 3 woodlands always in the back, and then resources would spawn, hills would spawn randomly close to your base and everything. Set the DM with the maps and sid draft. Perfect. Let's get that in there in a command. Oh, I should switch my title as well, come to think of it. Sorry about the silence here, I'm just focusing on the draft stuff. Oh, a little bit of HP taken on Purple Scout there. Draft maps met. Yeah, that should be alright. That should be alright. Did you send it? Actually, mediocrity. I don't I actually can't see it. And actually, is it? Oh wait, maybe it's here we go. Here we go. I found it. Found it. Thank you. You bumped it up for me. Perfect. And there we go. I think the commands should be decent now. So we are set. We have Davar here with the Britons. Very much a common pick for team games or Arabia in general. Britain's archers, borderline overpowered with their extra range added in the castle and Imperial Ages, resulting in arbalests with potential 5+6 range if you can get to the unique technology from the castle as well. And 20% faster rating archery ranges as well, which boosts your archers' production speed, which obviously is always going to come in handy, especially if you are matched evenly otherwise with your opponent in terms of uptimes and all that jazz. As his teammate Baymax is playing as the Franks here, beginning the walling, already got a wall towards the edges here and in towards the TC, pretty common on Arabia these days to preserve your resources, of course, within the walls. And full walls, quite costly, but if you use the woodlines and use the edge of the map, you could at the very least funnel the aggression in towards the DC, forcing your opponent to take damage while you garrison your town center, firing arrows at them. Franks, fantastic cavalry civilization, plus 20% hit points on the cavalry units added from the Feudal Age, which gives for a very nice scouts opening for the Franks. Usually their go-to. So we'll see scouts from Franks, archers from the Britons. Now, as for the other team, we have Tagarung here with the Ethiopians in the red here. Faster firing archers, 20% faster firing archers, or whatever the rate is. But another bonus applying to Ethiopians as well, civilization, is that they are granted plus 100 food and 100 gold upon reaching each next age. Which makes, for example, a men-at-arms opening more smooth. Ooh, nice engagement here from Davar to delay Zordok's barracks significantly. Ethiopians could afford men-at-arms instantly, for example. That's not too common in team games though. Oh, Rip Scout, but delay, far delay there. And it's the Britain Scout, not the Franks one, so it's not going to affect the Scouts rush. Yeah, and fast firing archers, you get that extra gold. That's going to boost your early archers as well if need be. And again, we are on point with the scouting here. Baymax and Davar, they're killing it here. They're scouting at just the right moment on either side here to delay both sides' barracks. And looking at the populations here, King Noob, they are up earlier to the next stage. So they're definitely going to have a head start to the production here. And finally, Zordok here with the Huns. Getting the barracks significantly delayed kind of delays the stables going up here as well. So you'll see that Franks are ahead now with 2 scouts. It's about to become 2 for Zordok as well. As a compensation though, the Huns generic scouts only have 45 hit points compared to the Franks 54. But the Huns stables produce 20% faster, so you could actually catch up sort of with the Frank series. I'm gonna boost that food income a little bit by pushing the last deer as well. Scouting not too uplifting for Zordok here though. Yeah, took an early engagement here with the starting scout, that's why a little bit of hit point is down. But yeah, otherwise they're not gonna, doesn't look like they're gonna be able to do much damage here, at least not on blue side. So the Britain's player is safe to wall off and go here, while Frank's player still has a way to go. Interesting how blue full walls and red doesn't wall at all. Yeah, true. Relying on efficient aggression here, I guess, but you see it comes at a price. We have Baymax here exploiting the fact that red hasn't got the full walls up yet and will be using the scouts to their full potential. I think you could still comfortably hit the gold here, but maybe he's waiting for more scouts numbers or his teammates archers to focus down the spearmen here. Yeah, here's Zordok with the Hun Scout as well, but you see, actually it's leading in numbers now, so that's the faster working Hun stables advantage there. But then again, if we toggle the scouts, and yeah, he's gonna lose some hit points now, but it's also causing idle time on red. But let's see the hit points difference here, right? Until purple gets all of the player scouts over here is actually at a disadvantage because of the Frank's higher hit points. It's a long travel for the Britons over here though. And I'm also a bit surprised, or I'm not surprised that the Franks players using the mobility to hit the Ethiopians, but the players they really should be doubling up on is the Huns player, because you want to obstruct the mobility of the scouts. Nice farm eco for both the cavalry players here. In theory, the player not walling should have better economy. Yes, you've invested a lot less into wood, into walls, so it should be much easier to afford farms earlier or just more production overall. Blacksmith now coming up for Davar here in the blue. That's one that the Ethiopians don't have yet, and even though they have a tiny eco lead here, they're otherwise evenly matched here, these two teams, so in numbers and everything. Let's see here, Davar is going to join in to take the fight here. They're both teams keeping their armies very close together, but you'll see that Franks has the hit points advantage here, as there's a bit of an archer's engagement here. But look at fletching coming in for Davar here. Yes, slightly outnumbered maybe. No, not just slightly, 6 to 9, but yes, fletching, red did just get in as well. Okay, so Ethiopians faster firing archers getting a lovely engagement here against the blue archers. I'm not sure why Baymax didn't meddle in there. That would be helpful to not make it that easy for Ethiopians archers to chase. So suddenly Letterman and Zordok, they are in the commanding position here. They're applying pressure on the correct player. They are going to limit the mobility of Baymax here, who is going into the defense for the scouts, whereas Zordok is prioritizing wheelbarrow instead. We'll need more farms. We'll be placing more farms before going up, I think, but 6 on gold here. And defense, yeah, so matching the Frank's upgrades after all. It's gonna be disaster for Baymax here if Leatherman and Zordok break in, though, because then you'd be rendering a lot of economy vulnerable. You could snipe some weak villagers here if the artists get in. But now look at the army count again. They're evening out here and taking a little bit of a hill advantage here. Defense in for both cavalry players, fletching in for both archers. The upgrades. Oh, defense is in for Davar actually. So if Davar is able to match the archers' numbers here somehow, blue should be able to take better engagements. Yeah, if you're investing into an extended field and a lot of scouts, you're definitely justified to make upgrades as well. Let's see for the resources for Baymax. Yeah, it's still a while to go for the castle age, so Zordok should be going up. Is going up much earlier, sorry, is going up, I missed that, but makes sense. Going for wheelbarrow and castle age rather than extended scouts and numbers. If you look at the Eco KD, there's nothing too crazy here. 1 villager down for red, that's about all that we've seen. And Zordok is in! And we'll be wasting these, or not wasting, but bringing in the last few scouts here, because knights are going to come this way very soon. Anyway. So blue is nicely and fully walled here, 11 on gold. Double ranges, fast Britain's working ranges, but still no castle age for green. Green is playing full feudal here for the moment, and hasn't really been doing enough damage. Higher idle town setup times for King Noob as the scouts run in here and looking for places to hit. They have very little knowledge of Purple Space, but they know the location of the one and only gold here, which will, at the very least, delay some knights production here. Only 91 on gold. Only 1 knight here for Zordok. So the gold, you should definitely keep the Britain's archers on the gold here now, if they know the situation, but I don't really know if there are more golds inside here or not. The scouts might break in. I don't think a quick wall will happen here. It's Huns after all, they can't house wall. So, wow, Baymax is in. He's gonna go for the attack here and he's gonna get some villagers. As Zordok pulls in towards the TC and gets out the knights. Probably crisis averted here, but look at the gold economy, it's exposed. It's a pity that Davar didn't stay here on the gold to deny it further, deny this TC as well, and suddenly Huns can't make knights. I'd say that's a worthwhile engagement though. If we look at the Eco KD, Baymax got another 2 kills there. We'll be losing the scout, but doesn't matter that much now with the Frank's player up to the castle age. With a very, very healthy farming eco though. Triple stables by the looks of it to catch up with the Huns here. As the Huns have faster working stables. But now that Zordok's gold eco is stabilizing, we'll be seeing higher knights numbers from the Huns for a while here. Even with 3 stables from the Franks. Scouts over here as well. So good mobility play by Baymax here, making use of all of the stray scouts, trying their best to idle economy here. Yeah, shouldn't be a problem focusing on spears with the attack and defense in with the scouts here. So playing the mobility is also about keeping an eye on where the opponent's armies are, and Baymax will have a rough estimate of how many archers Pagrong has here. Castle Age is in, so green will be backing off, but we'll also be able to relay the information to the teammate that that the red in fact has roughly 20 archers here. Zordok trying to break in here, but I guess the Frankish knights will be able to hold this off on their own. Shouldn't be a big issue, but nice quick walls nevertheless, as a town center goes up with the gold and King Noob undeniably are a bit behind in economy here. Only one of them with wheelbarrow, while Letterman and Zordok, they are slightly behind in military, but nothing too crazy. I think Green should go harder on Knights and drop these 3 TCs right away. Yeah, but Green has seen the... Well, Green hasn't seen the 3 TC investment on Huns, actually. Because if they did, that's kind of... It's 3,000 setters immediately for Zordok here, so you won't really need to worry about getting outnumbered by Huns that badly. And it's only 1 TC, it's not 2. It's only 1. So, or 1 additional TC, I mean, and it's also crucial to protect the gold here, so I think it makes sense. Britons now with their extra range, which means that Mangonels won't reach them easily. Purple trying to break through yet again, but now we have the collected armies of blue and green here outnumbering Letterman and Zorlok, so they should be able to go towards the hill here and take more than decent engagement. It's granted it's mainly scouts here for Baymax still, but the Knights numbers comparable. And given the 5 TCs to... What is it? 1, 2, 3... Yeah, it's 5 for King Noob as well. I would kind of have thought them to be further behind there, but now Red is going to lose a lot of crossbows here, because the Britons have that extra range. It's easier to snipe them from a distance, and Purple not quite on point with the numbers here. They both have +2 defense, which is crucial when fighting groups of archers, but here Blue and Green go out on top. Letterman and Zordok, they want to take the hill, but King Noob will have none of it, and they're just chasing and following here and sniping more and more and more Ethiopian archers numbers. Look at the Britons now, currently not producing, maybe because of the houseness, but 3 ranges now for the Britons, still only 2 for the Ethiopians, more ranges coming up here to catch up. But the fact remains that King and Noob, they are providing some nice army numbers here, at the cost of some Pranks Knights going down, but not anything worse than you can't keep up with it. Still 3 stables to 2 right, so Playbacks will be able to get decent numbers out here. They take yet another hill here, fantastic. This will probably be fortified by a castle later and secure this. Is that the 3rd gold or green? Oh, these are green golds. That's actually, I think that's actually the 3rd gold on green, and it's almost closer to red than themselves here. Yeah, keeping that hill. Ethiopians faster firing crossbows. They have ballistics. They're about to get thumbering as well, so they'll be machine gun archers at this point. Britons will have to play the range advantage here, but they need to snipe the knights first. Some practice knights coming in here, but not nearly enough. Now I think Red can clean this up. This is so back and forth. This is amazing. They're on the hill. And yeah, not taking unnecessary engagements, obviously. Davar will be trying to use that Britain's range advantage here to get some sneaky pickups of Ethiopians, but I really think Blue should reconsider here and gather up on the numbers instead. And yeah, definitely play that range. Firing against... I didn't see if Blue got thumbering or not, but thumbering or no thumbering, the Ethiopians still fire 20% faster, and this is an easy one for Red to get as many numbers as possible of the Brits. Still, Britons with higher numbers here, surprisingly. Twelve Knights to 9, so King Noob in the cavalry lead again here. Letterman and Zordok, they are playing the better macro. We have a TC number 4 going up for Tagarong here, not worrying at all. Placing 1 builder in the middle of nowhere here to get that one up. But they're so consistent, these teams. This is the finals. You do expect them to put up a challenge against each others, but there's definitely no defined winner here. And the main difference here is that Letterman and Zordok, they do have about 20 villagers more, so they've been keeping the TCs working more. They've been investing into more economy earlier on. Could be resulting in a quicker Imperial Age here if you look at the resource setup, especially for the cavalry player, the Huns. Maybe not, actually. Maybe Tavar will be first here. Is content with the crossbow numbers, presumably here, and maybe aiming for Imperial Age here, looking at the resource disposal. 3 TCs, Britain's TCs are cheaper, but I don't see that second building yet, so maybe not going up to Imp quite yet. First to get to Arbalest will have a huge advantage, though, especially Britons with their extra range. Oh, I don't like that castle with the current army situation and the fact that they are holding this hill with armies. That could be further forward, I think. But it's going to protect more stone and more castles later. Franks have cheaper castles. And there will be a big engagement in the middle here. So we have Huns going Imperial Age. So Huns going up first here after all, before the Archers players. Surprisingly so. So that's going to unlock Cavalier for Zordok. And they're gonna have a good head start to Cavalier over the Franks here. Box formation. So fortifying the hills here, they both are, but I like this position a lot better for the red player here. It's protecting the gold, is capturing the hill here, and the Imperial Age is on the way for both the purple and the red player here, while we have Tavar with the Britons here going up. That is going to give the crossbows an instant 5+4 range, and once Bracer kicks in, that's going to be 5+5. No castle for the Britons yet, so no unique technology. Moving out here to a very exposed gold here as the Huns player is dropping some stables, claiming some of the middle of the map, and potentially thinking about securing a trade route as well. Thinking ahead here. They're basically just scouting now for neutral resources and whatnot here. But I'm a bit worried about Baymax Castler. It's sort of downhill, and we have red and purple up to the Imperial Age before, at least before green. So there's a good chance that red and purple will be taking some great engagements here, but it's also the fact that Zordok will not want to take any engagements here before Cavalier, so this is the moment where King Noob and Baymax ideally want to force a fight. And they might just get their will here. Cavalier is still 25 seconds away. I'm not liking this engagement at all. I guess they've seen that the Britons is up, so they want to rush an engagement, but this is not a good engagement for the Knights and Crossbows of Letterman and Zordok. Still have 50 seconds to go for Imperial Age for Tagarong, and granted, huge numbers of crossbows here, but missing Arbalest. I guess they're wanting to take out the Arbs numbers of Britons before everything kicks in here, but we see Bracer is in, Arb is in, Cavalier is in for Zordok though, but they need to deal with this castle. Maybe this castle was a good one after all. I was questioning it to begin with, but it serves its purpose to keep the hills here. We are approaching the Imperial Age for Baymax as well. I'm not seeing any trade investment, but at some point they'll need to invest into that too for continued gold access for their units production. Definitely don't have a defined winner here yet, but Letterman and Zordok, Ethiopia's crossbows now soon to become Arbalest. Paladin all the way for the Huns. Okay, so huge head start here. I don't think Baymax will be able to afford Paladin anytime soon. It's 44 Cavaliers to 38. Yeah, He didn't even click Cavalier! Oh, this could be amazing for purple. I was 100% sure that Frank's player was on the way to Cavalier here, but there it is. 1 minute 30 seconds to go. They need Siege out here, though. They need to make the castle. Here comes the Trebuchet. It's on the way. And yeah, I don't mind the Cavaliers forcing an engagement there, but you really want to wait for Paladin. Here we go. I think they're just gonna dive now, are they? 4 stables producing Paladins for Zordok. And here, Treb, very well protected here to start contesting the castle, as Davar has one out as well, but might be struggling here. I think that castle, I mean, you can repair it for a while, but I think that will eventually go down. And then our blue friend here, Davar, is very much exposed, so loving Letterman and Zordok's position right now. Builder counts dead even, but army count not so much, so we see plans of siege ramps for the Huns here as well, to mix in here to soak Arbalest fire. Still only Cavalier for the Franks, and no sign of any option to afford Paladin here yet. Yeah, I think King Noob, they are going to struggle very much in the late game here. The base is not currently breached, but once the castles go down and everything here, they will just be overrun by the snowball that is Paladin and Arbalest here. Almost 100 Arbalest for Tagarung now. And the KD, you know, not so many builders lost yet, but the overall KD very, very much on the positive side, especially for the Ethiopians here. Doesn't even care about the castle fire at this point. Just wants to snipe as many Britain's archers and units as possible. And I think it's worth it because they're pop capped. They can probably afford replenishing them at this point. 30 villagers in gold. Yeah, it just keeps producing here, keeps spending the resources to stay pop capped here for red and purple. Does lose some paladins, but again, good fights being taken, castles going down. Halberdier switch here from the Britons, but I'm not sure that's going to do enough here because there are still lots of Ethiopians arbalists to handle that. So we have 99 military to 25 here now. Markets going up as well for purple now. And I guess short trade route to big military markets in the not quite the top corner here for Tagarong, but far enough to provide maybe 50 gold per trip, 40, 50 gold per trip. And that's, while not ideal, that's going to be enough to close out the game here, I believe. Light cab for the Franks, struggling for gold perhaps. Or conserving gold for Paladin could also be, but there aren't really any Cavalier on the hill. One Cavalier somewhere for the Franks player as castles go down. We did have a Franks Trebuchet here as well to try and take out the Ethiopian's castle, but didn't quite succeed. And there it is. Letterman and Zordok, they take the first game. Let's have a look at the resources. A whooping 173 arbalists for Tagarog here. Yeah, I could split this into separate graphs as well to see a very convincing build flow, especially from the red player. Tagarong, yeah, losing some, well, maybe not here, but there's some dips here and there, but in the end just dominating the numbers. The economy as well, very fluent progression here for both of them. They seem to take fewer hits after the choice of an extended feudal age for Davar and Baymax. The cast stage timings here, I think that bought a lot of momentum for Letterman and Zordok, but it was in the Imperial Age it got decided. Isn't this the fights you take or not take that sway the favors, and also the overall cavalry production maybe being helped by Hun's faster stables here to outmass the Franks. Alright, it's time for game 2. Let's see what that brings us. Exclamation mark maps for the maps. Exclamation mark draft for the draft. We'll be going to... Is this game 2? Yeah, it's game 2. It says game 2, literally. Golden Pit is next. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get me something to drink. There we go. Golden Pit it is, and I seem to have picked odds and evens color now, which is good. I don't need to switch anything. I won't toggle that idle TC stats here because that's the most significant one early on. A little bit of zoom out and let's go. Let's see for Zordok here with the Bulgarians. I think I like that pick for Golden Pit. Bulgarians, they have their unique building, a mini castle, the Krepost, which can produce their unique unit, the conic unit, essentially with 2 lives. First, the stats are roughly similar to a knight, and then it becomes dismounted and is an infantry unit. And these Krepost, they cost about half of what a castle does, so that's a nice way to assume middle control here and or defend at home or use them offensively, depending on how the game progresses, of course, but it makes it easier to contest and keep the middle. Not to mention that Bulgarians have fantastic hussars, because their unique technology from the castle turrets gives cavalry, both the knights, cavaliers, and light cav hussars, 33% faster attack. An upgrade that is not visible when you look at the stats, so you could actually sneakily take better fights against enemy knights with that upgrade researched, if you are in somewhat equal numbers. And teammates here, Davar with Vietnamese, basically classified as a counter archer civ. I'm kind of seeing Vietnamese long term going for the rat and archers here to deal with enemy. Yeah, they're not teammates. I'm messing up the positions here. But anyway, we have the Vietnamese for Davar going to play the archers here. Vietnamese archery range units have plus 20 hit points. That actually applies to their cavalry archers as well. But since they don't have heavy cavalry archer, you don't really see Vietnamese cavalry archers in play a lot. And the teammate of Davar here, Ritik Mur, can garrison inside houses, has access to elite battle elephants and also fully upgraded cavaliers, and fantastic siege in their scorpions with extra range, +1 range as a team bonus, and a unique technology giving them 2 projectiles instead of 1. So situational, but something we probably won't be seeing on Golden Pit. It's more for apps with choke points, but you never know. And finally, the Bulgarians teammate here, the Saracens. Saracens, better market rates than generic civilization, so you can use the market to tweak your economy. Oh, green. Oh. That's an elegant dodge. You can use the market to get gold through selling resources for better prices as the Saracens. Fantastic mill placement, by the way. It's just hunt right next to the mill here instead of pushing them in. Multi-purpose mill. And Saracen's archers line also have bonus attack against buildings, so you'll break through walls even more easily, even with archers as Saracens, especially palisade walls. So you see the wall ops commencing. We saw the previous game that it probably benefited the archers player, the previous game, the red player. I think that was Tiger on the previous game as well, to not wall as early, basically almost never full walled. Conserves or saves a lot of resources for other purposes. I'm seeing a 21 pop scouts play here from Zordok, while Davar will be going the straight archers with the Vietnamese, presumably here. The distance is a bit too far to justify brush or men at arms anyway. They know the TC locations of the enemy already, because that's also one of Vietnamese civilization bonuses to reveal the enemy town center location. So, Baymax, 20 population up here. Zordok with the 21. So Zordok is going to have one more villager working the whole time, going up to the next stage, giving a better economy into that. While Baymax with the Khmer is going to get a head start to the scouts. It's actually dropping it in barracks as well. You don't need that as the Khmer to build the stable, but you'll need spearmen to defend your economy. You could also place houses close to your core resources, so you have a hiding spot for your villagers if you're under heavy duress. And actually, that barracks investment did delay Baymax stable a tiny little bit here. He's gonna drop it any moment now, though. Blue seems to be fully walled, should be safe from Scout's aggression here. That's the Archer's player. That's crucial for the Archer's player to be full walled as well, so as not to be exposed to raids while moving out with the Archers. Cavalry players could pull their mobile units back home, right? So it's not as much stress for the Bulgarians to wall here, but you want to be on the safe side, of course. And let's look at scouting. Yeah, probably knows that there are openings to either side here. Otherwise, that could be an issue if the enemy armies find that and exploit that. Looks like Davar will be losing the starting scout here. And as a result, lacking a lot of scouting information here. Must have been pushing in the... No? Also didn't push the deer. So very, very limited scouting for Davar here this game, while the teammate, the green player, at least has some idea of Saracen's investment here. Double ranges, of course. Walls seem to be fully in place for the red player here as well. And we'll probably be tasking these villagers to gold again after completing the ranges. No market yet, but Saracen's market, it only costs 75 wood or so you could drop that at any moment. Well, let's see if Baymax can get in here. Actually doesn't know the location of Zordok. No way, it's up to here. Not sure what the plan is here. Try to find a sneaky backdoor to Tagarung's base, maybe. Hmm. In the meantime, we have archers in production for Tagarung. Could actually use these archers to chase off the scouts as well if need be. 3 scouts, 4th scout on the way for Baymax here, and Zordok seems to be settling for 4 to begin with as well. Their scouting is very limited. Everyone has very limited scouting. Are they gonna aim straight for the cast age, all of them here? It's double ranges archers for both the archers players, but they know so little about the enemy bases. Basically no aggression happening thus far in game. So they're splitting up the groups here, gonna cover more terrain, and guess they're gonna wait to engage until they have teammates archers to coordinate here. Again, you want to hit the mobile player if you can, so you want to hit the Khmer here. If you are Zordok and Tagerung, but now these positions so confusing there. It's basically a 1v1 on either side here. In my eyes, we have Zordok trying to break in on the blue side here. No panic for Davar, of course. We'll just be walling in behind this. Archers moving out to... Possibly. Is fletching in? Fletching is in, so there should be potential for a few villager snipes on the berries here if Zordok doesn't react in time. Almost. Yeah, got it. Got two, actually. Over the walls. Nice. And here's the teammate with the scouts to help out. We have Vietnamese archers here, so they have 36 hit points as compared to the standard 30 as well. And I don't think there's any keeping this aggression out. This is a good aggression from King Noob here on their home map. Scouts being brought home for Zordok, and I guess the archers will sneak up from behind for the Saracens here, but who has the better numbers here? It's 18 to 16, but what's the actual number forward here? Yeah, slight numbers lead for Davad here. They both have fletching as well. Here comes the... Oh, these could be intercepted actually by the red archers here. That's dangerous. Small groups here of reinforcements. Scouts engaging against scouts here, and the purple scouts will be getting the worst end of the deal. This is huge damage being done on Zordok at this point. Good teamwork here from Davar and Bimax. Maybe this won't be going to the middle at all if this keeps up, but here comes the Saracens archers to help out. Very much on the defensive now for Letterman and Zordok. It is beginning to show in their idle TC times as well that there's stuff going on here. They're falling behind in economy, and they're also lower in scouts numbers as Zordok will need to replenish here, and even commits to skirmishers here to try and hold off against the forward here. And this walling actually from Zordok, no safe gold at all. So going to gold here should be a big issue from Zordok here later. Could be why they're mining stone for defensive towers and eventually to secure the gold. Or just to sell stone to go to Castle Age here. Behind the stone we have Khmer going for the Castle Age. Didn't invest a lot into scouts, remember. So Baymax here is going to pump out the knights soon enough here. Is there a second stable? There is as well. So King Noob definitely in the commanding position here. They have one player in the Castle Age. The blue player Davar is going up as well, which will unlock crossbows. And we have Bulgarians, the actual mobility and cavalry player here being slaughtered at home base. 7 villagers down for Zordok here to King Noob's offensives. Huge lead for King Noob at this point. Yeah, Davar barely losing any units at all here. 19-8 is the KD, so that says something about the archers number being preserved here as well, as there are 3 ranges working non-stop to produce more archers for the Vietnamese as well. Pulling back now to relocate or reunite with the rest of the archers and get crossbows, and then probably move forward again to hit Zordok here. These gold spots in Zordok's defense, they are awful. They're both on the same side, easily denied by armies, or even just a tower here would completely take Zordok off gold. So that's unfortunate. Could blame it a little bit on the walling here to choose to wall out both golds, and hence having to rely on heavy feudal age aggression as well. But this looks like a game on the shorter side for King Noob here. Both opponents in the Castle Age. To be fair, Letterman and Zordok are going to the Castle Age as well, but Zordok is going there without any gold whatsoever. Gold access has to be planned for a town center here, and can you even place that safely with knights and other units roaming into your base here now? What's the stone situation like? Doesn't have stone for crep post either. Could fortify this position with a crep post maybe, but stone just doesn't allow for that. 16 villagers killed, 16 villagers lost for the Bulgarians here. There shouldn't be any way to come back from this with your actual player playing mobility being completely crippled here. We have 30 or so enemy units inside base, and Zorok goes for the run here. It's going to flee to Tagarog's side and hope to reestablish the reboot somewhere else. Easy in the middle of nowhere here. GG is called, and unsurprisingly so after having lost a whooping 29 builders here for Zordok. A dominant display from King Noob here on the home map, and we'll be going to Letterman on Zordok's first home map after a look at the stats here. So you can see here that the army numbers are Saracens' archer numbers, to be fair, pretty decent here, but with the mobility player, the Bulgarians crippled here, it's just not much to be done here. 32-7, fantastic engagements from the Khmer and the Vietnamese forward here. Stepping up their game as the uptimes will show a 2013 cast late for the Khmer. That's nice and smooth. And they didn't lose a single villager the whole game, which obviously helps their game as well. Let's move on to game 3 here, and we'll see what's next here. Looks like Lombardia. Going to try and keep my opinions about that map for myself, but Lombardia it is. And let's give Baymax the purple so it's a little bit easier to distinguish the players' colors here. Lombardia it is, and the players spawn very closely together. You start off with 8 cows per player. So that alone boosts your starting food by 300. As you can see, the players start close, so they should have a very easy time team walling their bases. For example, like this, in between the woodlines here, you'll cover a lot of golds within your walls. You'll more often than not see the players completely walling all to the edge of the map as well, but that's more of a 3v3 and 4v4 play, I think, to do that immediately, because now you don't have any players spawning here or here. It's too greedy to go all the way to the edge to begin with here, I think. So this map might actually warrant some scout play. I don't see a lot of archers coming into play here because of the travel distance, but maybe it will develop into the classic knights and archers play after all. But in general, with the ease of walling on Lombardia, you see more like a bit of a turtling approach into fast castle. Often unique units play here. I don't think we'll see Teutonic Knights, but we could see war wagons from the Koreans, for example. And yeah, I'm not even sure about the Sicilians, but they have become quite a strong cavalry city, even in the Imperial Age now, with their replaced unique technology to give the Cavalier, or Knight's Line rather, extra pierce armor in the Imperial Age. They're flaring the locations as to where they want to wall now between the woodlines. I'll wall here and then wall here, says Tagarong, and then to the woodline probably. And then it's up to Zordok to complete the walls between the woodlands. So maybe all the way up on the hill here to neglect using the hill for the opponents here as well. Gold placement for Zordok is horrible here though, I have to say. It's on the hill here. All 3 golds on the hill. While Tagarong has a bit more like 2 back golds, so that's at least good news for the Koreans, whatever they may be planning here. If we can tell anything from the eco setups here, berries on the hill, also not ideal here. Both sides should be commencing their walling, I'd assume. No reason not to here with your tight starting point and everything. House walling out here for Baymax and gonna go towards the woodland and then all the way to the edge of the map, presumably. We do have 3 on wood here, so Teuton's definitely planning the scouts play here. Pushing in deer, eating the boars, focusing heavily on food. 3 on wood is could be a giveaway of 21 population men at arms as well, but that would not make sense on a place like Lombardia when there's always literally all the way to the other side of the map. As far as resource placement goes for King Noob here, all of the golds I would say are forward. With this one probably going to be secured within the walls, but yeah, awkward gold positions for Davar and Baymax here as well. So Portuguese, they have fully upgraded Arbalest. They also have the organ guns as the unique unit. We see the barracks going up here. Quick walled in for the safety of it as well. Both scouts of red and purple moving forward now, while blue and green haven't really moved out just yet and are playing more on the safe side here, hoping to get the walls up. But I think with... No way, is he going for the infantry approach here? Why would you go... Why would you go Drush on Lombardia? I mean, these militia, they won't be reaching the other side in time here. Well, they will. Alright, they will be using their scouts, starting scouts forward, maybe to delay the walls here. Maybe there's potential to rush here, but it seems so slow. Even if it's a 2v2 map. They are coordinating their scouts here. They are doing damage. And blue scout, where are we? Coming over to help now. Okay, I guess the Drush goes in then. Drush on 2v2 Lombardia. You don't see Drushing on Lombardia a lot. And the third one on the way. Yeah, a little bit late. Yeah, I guess they're gonna punish the greedy walling of Letterman and Zordok then, after all. Then again, a Drush is easily quick walled out, and you'll be buying yourself time to actually complete the walls, and there's a good chance that Letterman and Zordok, even with the wallings here, greedy walls from King Doob as well, by the way, with Teutons now 21 pop scouts on the way. It's absolutely crucial for King Doob to deny the walls here so that Baymax's scouts can come out and go right on the walls here. Just oh, why? Why, Zordok? Not like this. Not like this. Letting the Drush in. I was going to say they're going to run into walls here and pound at walls, but no. Alright, Drush getting value here after all. No question about it. With the feudal ages at 26 and 27 pop here for Letterman and Zordok, but they will be taking a heavy beating before that happens. Gold denied here, goodbye. Fast Cattle Age. The wall's about to be completed, but this one is going to stay open. There's no way King Noob are going to allow this to be re-walled now. At least they shouldn't. We're off gold, so rip Fast Cattle for Zordok. 4 villagers down to a Drush, and the starting scouts. Amazing value from Davar's opening Drush here. And as we can see, they have the walls up as well, so if Letterman and Zordok wants to switch into a scouts and cavalry play here, they're not going to be able to do any counter damage. They need to... Oh, look at that, 23 villagers. It was supposed to be 27. Yeah, it's going to re-wall actually. So the scouts will be pounding into walls unless something miraculous happens here. But oh man, what value. That was impressive. So Drush Fast Castle crossbows for Davar by the looks of it. No stone investment, so it's not a castle and organ guns here. Maybe this was just meant to be one scout to be able to keep scouting here, because it doesn't really make sense to keep producing scouts now that the walls are complete here. That's maybe a bit unfortunate, but I'm sure King Doob are happy with the damage they actually did with the opening rush there. Don't tell me he's gonna break through there. Of course green is gonna reroll that to the house, but if not... Okay, it's only one scout. It's only one scout. It's just gonna repair the palisade, actually. Stable. Double ranges for Davar here and Gas Stage well on the way. Teuton's player just investing into farms and economy here is on gold as well, so we'll see that Castle Slick from Teutons in not too long as well. Fast Castle working out in the end for the Letterman and Zordok after all, but they still took that beating of 4 villagers lost. No stone investments, not instant war wagons here for Taugerung. Might be playing the... yeah, there's the range, so we're gonna play the crossbows. Second range going up as well. Taugerung with the Castle Age currently making the archers, not stressing that crossbow bot gonna upgrade. Is it... yeah, doesn't make sense to get that before you have some numbers anyway. Pledging is in though, and the defense of course being the Koreans here, you get that instantly. And the very first additional town center for blue goes up on the quite forward woodline here. So everybody's just extending in economy here. They're going into boom mode. King Doob, they know that they have a lead here now, or they should have one at least, but they actually have higher idle towns at the time, so all things considered, they're actually not as ahead as they could be with even more consistent villager production. 4,000 there's total for Letterman and Zordok, while the Teuton's player is still 1 minute from the Castle Age, so they will actually be compensating for the early losses here, Letterman and Zordok, and they will be reclaiming their villager lead potentially here. Double ranges consistently producing for both archers players, right? Yeah, somewhat. Tagerung seems to be struggling a little bit for... wait, both ranges producing now, so never mind. While King Noob, they are planning where to engage with the knights and crossbows here. Teuton player will be going straight into the knights. Maybe actually staying 1 town center here. Only 7 on gold though. 3 stables, 7 on gold. It will boost the early production, yes, but you'll need lots of more farms and more gold to justify triple stables consistent production. Sure, it's a means to compensate for the fact that Baymax is the last player to reach the Castle Age here though, so it's a way to boost the first few numbers in case the Sicilians are producing here, but Zordok in full boom mode here. No army whatsoever. That could backfire heavily here now with the Knight Crossbow aggression moving forward here. Nice scouting by Baymax here to see that Koreans crossbows, they're over here. Means that the Knights and crossbows can really engage here. Maybe even get some stealthy snipes on Green's economy here. So villager lead for Letterman and Zordok still here, but that could change rapidly if King Doob break through the walls here, and I don't see any option of easy re-walling here for Zordok, other than walling behind here as is being attempted right now. They are through. Moving. Go in! Don't block the crossbows out. Move in. Okay, a bit surprised to see them splitting up here. But Davar obviously knows that there's numbers of Koreans crossbows here as well, so they break through, but they don't really do any mentionable damage here. Baymax will be moving out as well because of not having the +2 defense yet, and hence can't can't comfortably engage even against small groups of crossbows like this. Three town centers. They are aiming to get that builder lead now. King Dub extending the economy at home. Crossbow numbers comparable here, but King Dub massively in the lead in terms of Knights production here. Oh, they don't know that there's a barracks behind here. Might as well find some other way to break through, and they're just being annoying, breaking breaking houses here. Maybe hoping to get lucky and cause some population cap here, but that's not quite happening yet. So Davar has been sneaking around here, hoping to find an opening in the back here. I guess you could go into the gap here and again get some sneaky snipes on builders here. Massive army lead for Baymax in terms of knights here compared to the Sicilians player. 2 stables for the Sicilians. No production currently at all for Baymax here. Food sources not quite supporting it yet. And I'm not too happy with the armies being split up like this either. You usually see the coordination between teammates being cavalry and archers sticking together like glue. Here comes the castle, so we may be seeing some war wagons here from Tagarong soon enough. Did invest into 28 crossbows here, and Bodkin is in, so the upgrades will still apply to the war wagons as well. Or you could, of course, keep making crossbows and go into arbalesters as Koreans as well, and then just use the castle for defensive purposes. But if you look at the stone investment here, Tagarong definitely has the long-term plan to go into the unique unit, the war wagons here. Oh, we'll have a breakthrough. I think this could be an opening. Okay, they're not gonna get through this time around. Lots of crossbows from behind to defend here. +2 defense is in for Baymax, but now it's time to run away. And I see one potential issue here for the Teutons long term here on an open and broad map like Lombardia. That Teutons' lack of husbandry and speed will prove an issue here. But we'll see. Thanks for the follow, Matt. To 1433. It is a tiny military lead for King Noob here, but they have a larger economy lead overall here. Everybody has wheelbarrow, and King Noob they have simply were investing into the 3rd town center later on, so they're gaining an eco lead. But looking at the castle placements here, Letterman and Zordok, they're setting up for a long game. They're just gonna turtle it out and defend the points of entry here from the crossbow knight forward. And to the sides we have house walls behind as well, so they're not making it easy for King Noob to break in here. This I would be surprised if this game doesn't go to the Imperial Age and even the late Imperial Age here. And on Lombardia, so you already have positioning set up nicely for a full wall towards the edge of the map for the late game, and then you'll see markets. Actually, oh no, that's not a market, it's a university, so never mind. But yeah, they'll be trading from the corners as the game progresses as well. Easier than you usually would on Arabia, because you're setting up the foundations for the walls early on already. big fight. Still no, wait, one more wagon for blue here, but a lot of crossbows are going to go down here. I just don't see how King Noob and, well, how King Noob get through here and deal damage, but they do have the Teutons player going Imperial Age, and that's going to be significant here if they can place a forward castle and start trapping the defenses here. Then it could actually end early Imperial Age if they take down the defenses and run into raid with the Teutons Cavaliers and Portuguese crossbows here. Low castle investment for King Noob at home, right? So essentially they have more of the other resources here. They're not... Yeah, Baymax is investing into stone for that castle that presumably will be going down forward because King Noob are in full control of the map now. And Davar also with the smoother Imperial Age here will certainly be helping out with the earlier harvests as well. Letterman and Zordok, they need to get up to the next age as well, otherwise they will be losing a Trebuchet war easily here. Yeah, so Koreans going Imperial Age here as well. That is going to unlock Arbalest for the most part. We have a little bit of war wagons as well, but that doesn't seem to be the long-term investment yet. Look at the markets going up here to keep the aggression out. Could almost trap the knights here even. But of course, putting back out to preserve the numbers here. Not taking fights needlessly. That's a good call from King Noob to stay away from that. Portuguese with the siege workshops going forward. Imperial Age, Portuguese bombard cannons most likely here. We may not need the forward castle and trebuchets after all if you get Portuguese bombard cannons out here. That said, without a castle for the Portuguese player, they're not going to get full advantage from the Portuguese bombard cannons either, because from the unique technology from the castle you get essentially better accuracy for Portuguese gunpowder units. But we have chemistry on the way here with 2 forward siege workshop and more ranges to replenish the soon-to-be Arbalesters. Oh, but where's Bracer? I guess they're prioritizing chemistry for added damage output. Baymax not going to have Paladin anytime soon, but still has a massive head start to the Cavalier, as the Sicilians Zordok here did lose 11 villagers so far in the game, so has been taking a beating here. Will be struggling to keep up with the build. It's quite likely here that Baymax will reach Paladin, and larger numbers than the Sicilians will get to Cavalier here, before the Sicilians get to Cavalier. This is such a dangerous forward here. 3 bombard cannons in the queue for Davar, and that means rip castles essentially. I'm not sure if Koreans and Sicilians get bombard cannons of their own. I'm pretty sure Koreans actually don't. But I'm gonna need someone to confirm that. So it's not easy to take out bombard cannons without good cavalry to run in and snipe them, or bombard cannons of your own. So castle taking roughly 300 damage per hit here, and as more bombard cannons join in, it's going to be at least 4 of them now. It's a very expensive unit, but all that more useful in this situation because it's much more mobile than a trebuchet. Yes, Letterman and Zordok's best shot here is using the Koreans' Arbalest here to snipe the bombard cannons, but the bombard cannons, they could also, when units march in a group like this, if you attack the ground on where the units are marching, you can get some very, very good shots in, especially choke points like this. So now I think Davar should consider targeting the The crossbow group is... Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. Look at this. Look at so many units getting weakened there because they're so tightly packed together. They're hit by cannonballs. That's incredible engagement by the Portuguese here. 5 bomber cannons out. Military numbers comparable here, but it's 50 cavalier to 29 knights, so military strength not at all comparable here. It's a great engagement for King Noob here. Mind the bomber cannons though, that could be an issue here, but they're sniping the knights, trying to snipe the bomber cannons here. Keeps 5 bomber cannons intact out of the 6. And big fight again here as... oh, what the heck! So fantastic bomber cannons hits there. He essentially took out a huge group of armless there with the bomber guns. It is 5 or 6 bomber guns, and that's the game-ending shot there. Cavalry for the Sicilians, but not nearly able to match the Paladins' numbers here. King Noob with a 2-1 here. They're going for the reverse sweep after losing the Arabia game. Much more arbalesters for Tagaro, but the main role for the Portuguese here seem to be bringing the earlier Imperial Age and the Siege into the fight here. But yeah, Scouts uptime there didn't really do too much for the Teutons. I think that Birch past Castle maybe it would be better just to... They can't know that, of course. But you could have the Portuguese doing that rush, which was successful, and just use the Teutons' initial scout to help out, and then the Teutons could go fast castle boom behind this instead of fast castle knights. Koreans and Sorok here. Koreans fast castle worked out because it was only Sorok losing 4 villagers early on there. But still a big loss taken throughout the game, losing 11 villagers for the green players, setting back the Sicilians a lot in the big picture. Alright, so let's go to game number 4. That would be Letterman and Zorlok's second home map. That's game 4 on 4 lakes. Game 4, 4 lakes. Here we go. Alright, so we have a desert style 4 lakes map here. Big hill in the middle. Will be significant for fighting, depending on their units of choice, of course. I'm not seeing a whole lot of cavalry archers coming into play here, considering we have Malay, Lithuanians, Japanese, Persians. I mean, to be fair, these two civilizations, especially the Japanese, have fully upgraded cavalry archers, but it's still not your go-to move for these civilizations. Japanese, fantastic pick for 4 lakes, I would say. The halberdiers, so the Japanese or infantry in general, attack faster, so that's good as a defense against the Lithuanians, even Lithuanians with multiple relics here. The Japanese have bonuses working for them on water as well. Their fishing ships are tankier, twice the hit points, extra armor, makes it a lot more difficult to focus them down and take them out if you opt for a sneaky dock in the corner here. And we might have some fighting between red and blue in this dock over here because they spawn kind of close. I'm assuming blue will dock here and green will dock here. They will take 1 pond each or lake each and then contest it later. You have to dock on 4 lakes. It's just no option not to because you have such rich amounts of fish to be taken here. Look at all these patches of fish. It's like, yeah, there's a lot. Thousands of foods just waiting to be taken here. So that's the Japanese. We have Baymax with the Persians. Fantastic pick for 4 lakes as well, because Persians, they start with 50 extra wood and food, which means you'll be getting that dock up earlier. And starting in the feudal age, Persian town centers and docks start working 10% faster, 15% faster in the Cast Age, and 20% faster in the Imperial Age. So Persians have an amazing boom. and an amazing fish boom, which they should be capitalizing on here. Add to that Persian Knights line, they have fully upgraded paladins, but Persian Knights, etc., etc., they have +2 bonus attack against archers, so they are going to give Ballet Arbalests a hard time here if this game goes to the late game and Imperial Age again. As for the Malay, they go up through the ages 66% faster. Their fish is cheaper. Fish traps are cheaper and provide lots more food. But with that 66% faster uptime, you could get some very good advantage from the earlier crossbow and arbalest upgrades as the Malay. You'll note the players have 5 on wood on these hybrid maps, because with 5 on wood, it's easier to, or it's actually necessary to sustain your both building a dock and then producing the fish. See 2 fish out for Lithuanians here. No fish for the Persians, no fish for the Japanese, no fish for Malay. Oh, we're going to delay the red dock quite a bit here. Tagarong actually sacrificing the initial scout here to get some pounds in on the Japanese player. Not sure if that was worth it or not, but took the fight and is already sneaking up a dock here as well. Well, sneaking, it's same corner, but... I think red... Oh, didn't spot it actually, but once red starts fishing here, there's a good chance that they will be running into each other. Now, as for the Lithuanians, how can Lithuanians have fish out this early? Think about Lithuanians, they start with +150 food. So what you do as Lithuanians, or could do as Lithuanians on these kinds of maps, is go straight to wood with your first 4 or 5 builders, start collecting wood, drop that dock, pump out fish, and you can have an amazing early fish boom and lightning fast cast lage into the knights. We'll see if they opt for knights or scouts here. Actually, let them and Zordok, they have a significantly higher idle town center time than King Noob here. So they're falling a bit behind in the production. But given the wall ability, so to speak, of 4 lakes, I think scouts definitely have merit here. Tagarong, losing the starting scout, will actually need to send a villager out here to recapture the sheep that Red stole from them. So that's a villager workers idle time there, moving around as well, but nothing too significant, of course. So I'm thinking scouts for Lithuanians and Persians here. They are up against each other. We might see some scouts battling to the top here, but you need to remember to contest the water as well. And it's going to be naval fighting between red and blue here. Blue obviously knows that red has docked here. Red probably suspects it, but can't confirm it until some scouting intel has been gathered here. We have most of the players going to feudal age, except for the Malay, aging up 66% faster, and will be keeping up with the uptimes here simply because of that. Yep, here's the barracks for Zordok, and that should mean that we'll be seeing a... it's not a gold, so this is going to be the stable and the scouts for sure. Let's see for the Persians player, the barracks is episode definitely playing the scouts. Good choice on an open map like this. You could even idle fishing ships and make it awkward for them to drop off fish with the scouts. But the main idea is to contest the land, of course. Moonwalking militia. The angry housewives are running in, but they are going to become men-at-arms any moment. Great opening for the Japanese here to go for the men-at-arms. Remember, Japanese infantry start attacking 15% faster in the feudal age, so they will kill buildings and builders deceivingly quickly compared to generic ones. Or risk running right into TC fire, but find some exposed villagers here. That's going to be one dead villager at least for Tagarong here. Good engagement. Careful, TC fire. Gold kind of exposed here. Could sneak through the gate as well. Could kill the ostrich. I don't think it matters when there's fish boom going on here. But there's lots of stuff going on there. Red actually neglecting to see the sneak block going up here. And actually not trying to fight back here. Is Red not on gold? Red is on gold. But Red is fighting for land here with the men-at-arms and land on land. And Tagarong doesn't even have the barracks ready yet, so no archers to deal with the men-at-arms. I guess Red gets out on top here with the aggression. Did get one villager right, but Tagarong is also getting economy units here. Gonna take out the very, very tanky Japanese fishing ships as we compare these two. Quite the difference. I think Bava just considers this lost and will be redocking in the top corner instead or something. So this is freeing up a lot of potential fish for Tagarong. Oh, the Minotaurs broke through at a gold. So Davar gets 2 villagers as well and takes Tagarong off gold. So no more gold units for blue for the time being. Going into skirmishes here for army because gold just isn't an option. Yeah, I could queue a couple of archers actually. But probably thinking ahead for the skirmishers because of the archers' investment of Baymax over here. Top side we have scouts fighting each other here, roughly similar numbers, 7 to 8 here. But forging and attack and defense for green here, that should be a huge advantage. Actually having the slight numbers lead here as well. And green can afford this because of the massive Lithuanian fish. We have third dock going up for Zordok as the Persian player only has 4 fish fishing. Or fishing, ships fishing, not fish. Fish can't fish, that would be cannibalism. All 3 men are still alive, Tagarong getting severely idled here, as it looks like to me that King Noob may be winning some very significant terrain here, but it did lose fish income. Letterman and Zordok keeps a solid economy lead here. There are skirmishers out and not really any scouts here to... Well, there are scouts here to deal with them, but they're not chasing. Green is inside, purple space as well as Zordok. Letterman and Zordok there are getting good engagements in here. I noted the wrong winner, didn't I? Did I? Who won the previous game? Oh, my head is spinning. Help me out here, is the score correct? As we have a big scout fight over here. And the colors are confusing me a little bit as well. Because I think they're switching it up a bit. Letterman and Zordok with a convincing lead here now. In terms of economy, that is, they are behind the military, which could be a concern for the later game. As we have archers and 2 men are still alive for Davar here as well. For the villager, I don't even know what her plan is here. This could be a gathering point failure. Might as well make use of them, just drop a tower or something. There's a stone to drop a tower if you... Yeah, Davar... I don't get it here. I'm not sure if this is... Yeah, here comes the tower. So just make use of these possibly misplaced villagers. Still making use of the men-at-arms as well. Almost getting that last hit on the villager. 1 HP. That's one lucky villager, dude. Men-at-arms being used as a meat shield and a kind of a counter to the skirmishers' defense here. And Davar definitely doing damage here. And trying to buy time for Persians to restabilize and reboom here, as there's a big scouts fight in the middle. But I'm not sure if Baymax has realized that Green actually has the upgrades here. Here comes the Castle Age for Letterman and Zordok, which is going to give the Lithuanian player a solid lead into the Knights production as well. Oh, it's open. It's open. And buybacks will find it and make the best of it here. Look for villagers, exposed regions to it. Gather some scouting intel maybe inside the enemy base. It is a huge lead to the castle age, though not only in terms of uptime here, but also in terms of economy for the Lithuanians here. That Lithuanians fish boom. You'll note that Tagarong here with the blue is struggling a lot to keep up with the economy here as well. Did win water, of course, so we have 10 fishing ships here, but they count as villagers, so essentially here that's only 27 villagers left for Tagarong here, being forced into a defensive tower in the economy here. Is Davar getting stolen for more towers? I think so. I think he's gonna commit to... Or these lumberjacks. King Doob calling, not King Doob, but Letterman and Zordok calling the GG here. On top score, in fact, Lithuanians have a feeling this wasn't completely over. I think Lithuanians with this kind of eco setup could fight their way back into it here. But they tap out, they call the GG, and that's the end of this mid-ELO tourneys gold final. Congratulations to King Doob for the reverse sweep of 3-1 after losing the first Arabia game. So let's have a look at the stats. Show the eco stats as well, which should be... I won't see the society stats actually, I won't see the fishing ships. Look at that, 20 fishing ships for Lithuanians, and admittedly 10 for the Malay as well. I feel like this wasn't over. I feel like Lithuanians did decent damage on the Persian side, and Persians have an amazing boom on Four Lakes as well, but maybe maybe Tagarong was simply disheartened here by the towers. The archers felt like there was no coming back from it. But as you see, even from the eco standpoint here, I'd say King Noob had more villagers total. Let's see. But the overall eco, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe they were just tired and didn't want to play on. GG well played though. KD 25 to 15 for the Japanese MVP in terms of military engagement there, being just a pure annoying player on the side. Didn't even care about losing the fishing income on water.